All right, Broadcom, biggest gainer in the pre-market. If you're looking at the price target right now, the price target's about 337. It's pretty much there right now. If you're looking at that, if you look at the street, everybody pretty much has a buy with very few exceptions. I want to go back to the quarter, though. What did you think about this quarter before we heard about the mystery client? I'm looking at some notes. Some people weren't really blown away until we heard about this mystery customer.
Yeah, I think if you think of back around 4:15, 4:30 yesterday afternoon before the call kicked off, you had the stock was down to up slightly, really no fireworks. AI revenues for next quarter, I think they guided to 6.2 billion. Buy side was already around 6 billion. So again, there was sort of like a repeat of what we got last Thursday or last Wednesday night with NVIDIA. Superb print, not much to pick at, but again, just sort of felt like it was gonna be a victim of just an elevated bar, high expectations. And then obviously on the conference call, probably one of the best that we've seen all EPS season. And Hock just sort of reinforced why Avago or Broadcom rather is kind of one of the best cases within the semi-AI trade, and just kind of did what he did.
All right, you're talking about CEO Hock Tan, just for everybody that doesn't know Hock on a first name basis, Joel. We're not all, we're not all connected like you. I want to talk about NVIDIA, though. NVIDIA pulling back about 0.5% in the pre-market. Why are we seeing the rest of the chip names move higher? I mean, at least somewhat higher. ARM was just kind of fractionally higher, but NVIDIA pulled back a whole 0.5%.
Yeah, the one thing that last night's calls kind of reinforce or kind of elevate the ASIC versus GPU debate, and that's kind of been lingering over the better part of the past year. And essentially, Avago kind of can help the hyperscalers and companies like OpenAI develop their own chips with more custom solutions, i.e. they're also cheaper alternatives to NVIDIA. So it's no secret. We know, I think FT, as you said earlier, FT Bloomberg reporting that OpenAI is this sort of mystery customer. And these big companies are spending billions of dollars. They want the cheapest alternative they can possibly find. So that's sort of the headwind, I think, in the near term for NVIDIA. It's clearly still the #1 proxy for the AI trade and the tech revolution. But again, this is where Broadcom potentially, in my view, has greater upside potential as more large hyperscalers shift to their own chips, again, just to kind of lower their costs as much as they can.
Is this Broadcom report, is it a read on anything, or do you think investors will see it as a read on something? Like, does this continue to put money in chip infrastructure and AI infrastructure after we had some questions, after the MIT report, after Sam Altman himself said it might be a bubble, and then obviously reports are that OpenAI is making this buy? Does it move money away from software? I mean, what's the takeaway from all this? Or is there any? Or is this a kind of an outlier? You said it was the best earnings call. Was this just really a great sales pitch by CEO Hock Tan?
I mean, yeah, obviously he's one of the best salesmen on the street, and rightfully so. And don't also forget, we also got great visibility from him on fiscal year 26, where he sees AI revenues being materially above the prior year as well. So I mean, he hit all the notes, right? And more importantly, within the AI trade, the trade's been in digestion mode for the better part of the past 4 or 5 weeks, rightfully so. The Altman commentary, MIT study, look at NVIDIA's T+1, T+2 reactions. Dell Marvell just last Friday got hammered post their calls.
But Joel, tell us where the puck's going, though. Where does the puck go after this?
We've seen the shift into software. Better part of the back half of August, we saw kind of money kind of trickle back into software. That's been unwinding, over the better part of the past week as well. Landmines have kind of been coming up here and there. Look at Salesforce, T+1 reaction this week. So I think this print last night from Broadcom will just kind of reinvigorate this AI trade. And I think heading into Q4, funds don't want to be underweight this theme and be forced to chase it in a lower liquidity backdrop.
I get its confirmation of the AI trade, but give us a sense. Does the money flow back into chips? Does it go to software? Does it go to cybersecurity? Does it go to data centers? I mean, does it go to energy providers? Where does the money go after this? Because after some of these reports, we kind of see trends shape up.
Yeah, I think it goes into, honestly, across the board. And I look at the picks and shovel stocks as well and the optical components. So whether it's on the hardware side, Credo had a huge move yesterday. A name like Hewlett-Packard Enterprises had a great call as well. Ciena sounded great on their conference call yesterday morning as well. So I think it gets spread across. And I look at more of the picks and shovels. So think the names like Corning, Jabil, Coherent, Lumentum, maybe not NVIDIA per se, but again, Broadcom has just cemented itself as a must-own name for pretty much, every investor that wants exposure to the theme.